Well, hello there and welcome back. In this exercise, what we're going to do is finish off the project. It's looking pretty good. We've created a holder for the video player. We've got a strobe playback component in here that we've turned into a symbol so we can constantly reuse it now. And now what I'm going to do is bring in the Tuts Plus logo, add a little bit of text in here, and then I'm going to show you how to create a little button that you may want to use to move forwards and backwards and stuff like that. So let's get going. To start, I'm just going to bring in the Tuts Plus logo, so I'm going to import. And there's the logo PNG. Click open. Place it, and I'm just going to stick it where it goes, right there, the 0, 0 point. Make sure it's 0, 0. I love working by the numbers. And again, I'm going to be using this a lot. So again, I'm just going to convert this to a graphic symbol, Tuts Plus, or WebTuts. I'm going to call it WebTuts Graphic, save it to the common library, click OK, and now I don't constantly have to go to the Web Design Tuts site and constantly steal it. It's now sitting in my library, so I can now come to my custom symbols. There it is there. See? And I just bring it in and put it in place. And I can reuse it wherever and whenever I want. Next step, let's add some text. Now, let's make sure that our layering is all taken care of. Okay, so we've got these three layers. They're fine. WebTuts, that's fine. Strobes there, so I'm going to lock these two. Just so I'm not selecting anything, I'm going to now select the text tool, one click, and I'm going to start typing up the text. Okay, so I get my typos handled here. And I'm going to pull the text over, just like that. And click once at the end of project, shift, return, there we go, that's done. Now I can do all kinds of cool stuff here. I can make this very bold. I can make it bigger, so I can take it up to 48 points so that it's really noticeable. But if it starts bumping in, I can take it down. I'll take it down to 40 points. Other things that you can do with the text tool in here is you can track and kern. You can do all kinds of stuff like that. Okay, this is right in here. You see, it just moves it in. You can indent, outdent. You can do all kinds of cool stuff here. All right, so I've got the video player project in Fireworks CS5, and it suddenly hits me. I'm using a font here, DIN Schrift, and I don't think a lot of people have that. So one of the things I'm going to do is just immediately just flatten the selection, which turns it into a bitmap. Now, if I was going to be moving this over to Flash or some other application on my computer, I wouldn't worry too much. But if I'm giving this to a developer and he doesn't have the font, then it might not be a bad idea just to flatten the selection once you get the typography all taken care of. So I'm just going to change that to text. So we're almost finished here. What we want to do now is have a little button that moves us forward and backwards. Now we can come to pages here. I'm going to just insert a brand new page right here. I'm going to insert that logo. There we go. Just put that right there. Okay. And the plan here is just to give you a page. I want you to see what's going on here. So I'm just going to scale that up, just have something here, and I'm just going to put a background on the canvas just so you can see it, canvas color. Now this will affect the entire document, so be aware of that sort of thing. Okay, click OK. There we go. All right, come back to page 1. And let's zoom back into 100%. So I'm going to have a button that's going to, when I click it, takes me from this page to that page and then back. So here's how we're going to do that. I have a button I've already drawn up, so it's import, and it's a little PNG right here. It's got a right arrow on it, see? Click open. And I'm going to get the PNG import dialog box. Yes, I want it. And I just drop it in, and there's the button. And if I come to my layers, you can see that this button is composed of two pieces. The arrow and the circle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to group these, Command G, and make them one object. Okay, so here's where it gets to be a lot of fun. I'm now going to right-click on it. I'm going to convert it to a symbol, and I'm going to make it a button. And I'm going to call this one Forward. And I think I'm just going to leave it where it is. I'm just going to create a symbol, and you can see that it immediately creates a slice on the whole bit. Now, this may disturb you, and if it does, just turn off the web layer. Now, what I want to do here is actually make this a useful button. So what I'm going to do is double-click it. And you notice that everything grays out, but suddenly I'm in the symbol. You can see that right there, Forward. And it tells me that the current state of this button, okay, I'm just going to close the properties here, is up. Now, what I want to do is have an over state. So if I select Over and ask it to copy the up graphic, and it comes. Now, here's where it gets really cool. If I ungroup this, modify, ungroup, it's a weird command, Shift Command G. And I just want to change the green color to something a little bit darker. I can come into the fill color and just add a darker color, darker green right there. You can see there it is. And of course I want to have a down state, and we'll use the same thing, the over graphic. So there we are. And we come back to page 1. You're kind of wondering, okay, fine, does this work? Well, yeah, it does. If I click the preview button, it will draw it, and there it is. And it's a fully functional symbol. So if I come back to the original, click on this, I can actually say, where do I want to go? I want to go to page 2 when I click the button. And if I go to preview and click the button, I should theoretically be able to go to page 2. So there you go. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, by the way, one other question you may be having, where did the button go? Well, I'm going to put the properties back down the bottom here and look for my library, the document library, and there's all the stuff that I've added to the library. And if I go to the common library, custom symbols, notice only strobe and webtoots are there because I didn't add this to the common library. So this only exists in this document, but there it is, and I can reuse it. And if I want to go backwards, here's where it gets really cool. I can just bring another copy of it to the stage, just like that. And I'm going to just get out of the preview, and I'm going to come over here and put them both together, sort of. And let's get them aligned. This is such a cool technique. And we'll align their centers. There we go. They are. That's perfect. I'm going to select this one. Modify. Transform. Flip horizontal. There it goes. And I can actually move this over. And now I've got navigation buttons forward and backwards. So if I've got this button here, I can come up into my layers panel, and there's the button symbols. So we'll say that this one's forward. This one's back. And the beauty of this whole thing is, notice that this button does not have the link to page 2 that the other one does. So if I come to that, see, that goes to page 2. So there you go. There's the project in a nutshell. Lots of technique here. And it started with a blank document, and you're seeing how you can create buttons, you can create navigation elements, you can create library elements, you can reuse content, all kinds of cool stuff in here. Hope you learned something, and most of all, hope you had some fun. See you later.